All right, let's jump right into this. Welcome to today's explainer on why design is your secret weapon no matter your profession, drawing from some seriously brilliant insights by Sujay L., a design and AI consultant. Before we get into the weeds, I want you to take just a second and really think about the friction you've dealt with today. You know what I mean, right? Maybe it was a delayed train that just completely derailed your morning routine. Or actually, maybe it was one of those clunky, unresponsive digital portals you had to wrestle with just to get a simple task done. We've kind of been conditioned to just accept these daily frustrations as, well, just the way things are. We shrug it off. But here is the absolute game changer and perspective we're going to explore today. It's not bad luck. It is bad design.
So, I'm going to ask you this, and I really want you to think about it. Is it bad luck or bad design? When we run into chaotic traffic, tangled up systems, or broken processes, our default is almost always to just blame the universe, right? But framing these everyday failures as just bad luck totally robs us of our power to fix them. By shifting our mindset and answering that question with bad design, we completely reframe the chaos. We realize, hey, these aren't curses, these are actually crucial system-level problems waiting to be solved. And suddenly, the control is right back in our hands.
Okay, let's look at part 1, the invisible architecture. System optimization over decoration.
To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to understand that the way most people think about design is just fundamentally flawed. We've all been sold this lie that design is a luxury, that it's just about pretty logos or picking the perfect color palette. Let's just go ahead and shatter that illusion right now. The reality, the high-Q reality here, is that design is actually system optimization. It's the invisible architecture dictating exactly how a system functions behind the scenes.
And that brings us to our working definition for this explainer. Design is the invisible architecture of how things work, the ruthless elimination of friction and system optimization. I literally want you to let that sink in for a second, the ruthless elimination of friction. What this means is honestly incredibly empowering. Whether you realize it or not, if you're managing a process, like any process at all, you are actually a designer. You are the one architecting how energy, time, and resources flow.
Moving on to part 2, solving the startup chaos. Eliminating friction in business.
Now, if you're an overwhelmed startup founder and you're drowning in manual client onboarding and reactive customer service, that feeling of just barely keeping your head above water, that's simply unmanaged friction. But when you start applying design thinking, you can shift from constantly putting out fires to mapping out an automated zero-friction AI funnel. By using AI as that connective tissue, a founder can streamline operations to the point where the friction of acquiring a customer drops to absolute zero. You're not just selling a product anymore. You've literally designed a self-sustaining machine.
Let's look at part 3, architecting scalable agriculture, from guesswork to data-driven yields.
Let's take the Indian farmer, for example. For generations, the reality has been guessing market demands and losing massive margins to middlemen. It's a harsh reality, and honestly, a massive system failure full of friction. But design totally changes the game here. By moving from guessing demands to implementing accessible AI supply chain tools, agriculture transforms. It becomes about predictive, data-driven crop cycles. The farmer isn't flying blind anymore. By utilizing these tools, you aren't just putting seeds in the ground, you're actively designing a scalable, optimized agricultural system that protects your margins and actually anticipates the market.
All right, part 4, policy as user experience, streamlining civic interfaces.
When we think about civic systems, what pops into your head? Probably towering stacks of physical files and those endless, frustrating queues. This is a fundamentally broken user experience. We have to reframe this and start treating policy as UX, user experience. Imagine taking that entire old world of paperwork and replacing it with a sleek, single-node digital civic interface. An interface so well architected that it actually anticipates what a citizen needs before they even have to ask for it. That is the ruthless elimination of friction, but at a massive societal level.
Which brings us to part 5, optimizing healthcare and education, reclaiming human capital.
When crucial sectors like healthcare and education are poorly designed, we are wasting a staggering amount of human capital. I mean, think about it. A doctor spending 60% of their day filling out paperwork instead of actually diagnosing patients? That's a tragedy. But good design creates a seamless ecosystem where AI pre-screens vitals and updates health records instantly. It completely frees the doctor to focus entirely on healing. And it's the exact same for educators. Instead of forcing a one-size-fits-all curriculum onto 50 completely different minds, we can leverage AI to build adaptive learning ecosystems. When AI handles the rote grading, the teacher can step up and act as a strategic, one-on-one mentor.
So let's tie this all together in Part 6, Building Fireproof Systems, the ultimate secret weapon.
Whether you are the founder, the farmer, the bureaucrat, the doctor, or the teacher, the overarching pattern here is absolutely clear. The reactive professional is exhausted because they're constantly running around just putting out fires. But the design-minded professional, they build fireproof systems. When you stop looking at your job as just a checklist of tasks and you start viewing it as an interconnected system just waiting to be optimized by AI, everything changes. It alters your entire trajectory. You become basically unstoppable.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly powerful realization from Sujay Sel's insights. Stop fixing problems as they happen. Start designing systems where problems cannot exist. Let's just pause on that for a second. Start designing systems where problems cannot exist. It's a profound shift, moving from just being reactive to actually becoming the proactive architect of your own professional world.
I really hope this explainer completely changes the way you look at the friction in your own daily processes. Subscribe to Better India by Design for more such videos. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one question to chew on. What is one broken system in your life right now that you've been writing off as bad luck, that you could actually redesign today?